Hey, Monkey Nation, listen, we've been talking about this for a while now, and if you missed out on the last deal where you got $200 worth of free gear, check out what we've got going on right now. This is over at monkeyworksprep.com. You'll get a 3-month kit, and you'll save $200 right now, and that will not last forever, but for every 3-month kit you buy, you get $200 off. That's a current special that's going, and remember, monkeyworksprep.com. Jump over there and get it now and get that food that you need to get you and your family through the crisis that is coming. It will not last forever. I'm telling you, when you need it, it's going to be hard to get. So don't wait. All right. That is monkeyworksprep.com. And you will be thankful that you did this. God bless. Monkey out. All right. Hey, welcome, folks. Mil-Spec Ops Monkey here. This is going to be your SITREP. It is 4/17/2023. It is around 11 a.m. coming to you from the great state of Texas. And we are just watching the wheels churn. So much going on around the world right now. So much unrest. And it's happening everywhere. I mean, it's in Europe. It's in, it's about to be here. But let's just dig in. Let's get over here to our mini board and take a look at what we got up right now. It's really kind of a low number, 177 up, but that is taking out roughly 75, 76 trainers from here in kind of the central North Texas area. That's where a lion's share of them are. But that is where we're looking at right now. Like I said, pretty light number, 229 now that it is starting to transition over a little bit, but it's catching some of this up here in the top corner. So about 175, 177 range. All right, let's get over here to let's see, we'll kick it off in the watch list. Got some interesting things up. We're going to still talk surveys again today, by the way. Got a lot of survey stuff going on still, and it's around the world. We're starting to see it in other places. So you can see some stuff going on there over Oklahoma. Those are surveys. Another Hubble Intel balloon that has just surfaced. Notice that the ones down in Arizona, the 3 of them are not showing any longer, which is interesting. There's going to be your Doomsday plane. That one is up, and so is an E6 as well as a P8 off the East Coast. And then we've got, again, just more of the same survey stuff. Now, we'll get over here to Europe and take a gander. And it is a little light, but again, this is watch list only. And so you'll notice one R135 headed back that was over near Constanta. And then this one out over the water. One data point for you is that R135 over the Black Sea. That's going to be one of the Russian dignitaries right there. But that R135 over the Black Sea has a fighter escort. So I was watching a Eurofighter tag right along with it. So they're not venturing out there without having some protection. Okay, let's get into the C-17s. About 130 of them have flown since Friday. So last 3 days, you'll notice port-centric there in South Carolina, up the East Coast, kind of tied into the ports. And then just all across, kind of broad brush across the continental United States, a.k.a. CONUS. And then a lot of traffic into Hawaii, but not really going anywhere else from there other than maybe Alaska and the U.S. So let's get over here to Europe. And it's kind of the same locations we always see. They're digging in right there in the Luxembourg area, Luxembourg, and Hungary, top corner of Hungary, which is a little bit of a new location for us. And then that little corner there in Poland that's right on the Ukraine border. Looks like that's where our C-17s have been going. Down into Malta, Alexandria, Egypt, and then it looks like Qatar, UAE. And then we've got this activity going on. This is north to south in India. And that's actually going to be more than likely the Indian Air Force and not U.S. But that's the C-17. And then that's China to the north. And they do have a little bit of a battle rage going up there. It's been ongoing for quite some time. Notice the big takeaway here is just notice the fact that there really isn't a lot of C-17 activity in the Asian Pacific realm. I've got 2 flights in the last 3 days, and it always looks that way. Now we get over here to the other heavies here in the U.S. last 24 hours. This will be a combo of C-17s and C-130s, and it's really, really light today, which means we're probably going to have a big uptick here in the coming days during this week. It usually just surges Wednesday to Friday when it's really light on a Monday. But again, just kind of spread out, really light here domestically. Again, these are transports, right? These are moving assets. And then you get to Europe, and again, it is kind of light for Europe from a C-130. That purple line right there down, kind of hitting it low. That is going to be A400s. And then we have just a couple sprinkled in there, A400s. Most of these are going to be U.S. and or British aircraft. We do have that one going in and out of Amman, Jordan. That's a C-130, a Surf 39, headed over to the Middle East. And that's going to do it for your heavies. Now let's get ready to refuelers. And it is really light. We've got 2 air refuelers up. Well, actually, there's a 2-ship there over the UK. And then it looks like they were doing some work over Germany. And then this one is, again, looks like it's descending into Luxembourg. Let's get over to the US. But again, really light for a Monday. Now, over the United States, looks like we're just getting the cells launched out. We've got some activity doing a little marshalling pattern there off the east coast of North Carolina, south of Virginia Beach. A little surge coming out of central United States, a little bit up on the eastern seaboard, and then a couple of those are reach, so they're going to be something other than. So, okay, let me pause this for a second. Important data point. This is going to be your last 3-day survey. Notice where we're starting here. This is over Sweden. Now, it's important to note that Sweden is one of the few, well, let's put it this way. Finland and Sweden both went into the NATO realm, so to speak, with desires to enter NATO. But then after the Nord Stream 2 took place, Sweden kind of waffled, and I think because they were doing the investigation, they discovered some things that probably didn't make them feel so great about NATO, and they probably got threatened by the United States. If you release this, we're coming after you. So they seem to have gone a little soft on their footing for joining NATO. I don't know if they still have the desire or not, but it seems to have gone soft. Now, Finland is all in. But this is over Sweden, and this is important because as we look at all of these surveys, remember we've looked in the United States mainly northeast centric, all the way down to the southern end of Florida, Tampa, over into Texas, and then we started to see some things pop into California. Nothing really in the Northwest, like Portland, Washington. Haven't seen anything there, but we've been trying to figure out what are these surveys doing. At first, we thought it was just strictly rail, but that doesn't seem to be the case. And then we noticed that we had some stuff going on very similar in nature in Poland, to the eastern side between Ukraine and, say, Warsaw, kind of in that general area, and Belarus, kind of tucked into that corner. And then we noticed here, this happened over the weekend, we've tracked some other aircraft, and you'll notice that they are running routes both directions right along the coastline along Sweden. Now, we'll kind of dig into this, but I'm going to show you another data point tied to this that I find kind of interesting and may be relevant as to what they are all looking for. I mean, what are the odds that these countries are all like running these surveys, LiDAR surveys, all right? There's something that they're all concerned about. If it's not martial law, now that was Sweden. Now this is Oklahoma, Tulsa. Last 3 days, it's only 29, but it was the weekend. So they are still kind of popping up today. There's a lot more going on. Those won't show on this survey yet. They'll show in the next round. But you can see Salt Lake City, Denver. Then you get out here, a little bit of work over San Francisco or south of San Francisco, kind of San Jose, and then down near Los Angeles. And then notice this one runs right down to the southern border, just to the north of Ensenada. And yeah, so California is getting their licks there. I don't know why. Oh, you'll see in a little bit why that came to the front of my mind. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of light. Looks like things have leveled out a little up in the Northeast. It was on top of each other for a while. But the Sweden thing. Okay, so let's talk a little further into the Swedish piece, because we dug into the company doing the surveys in Sweden. And check this out. This is one of many of their offerings, their service offering, but this is one of them is a nuclear response. It's an important resource in emergencies. In cooperation with the SGU, this company, Wormsland Flyg, or Flag, I don't know. I sounded it out, folks, is a part of Sweden's nuclear accident and terrorist incident readiness. Several of our aircraft can be mobilized at short notice for mapping of radioactive contamination and radiation sources. Exercises are regularly performed in Sweden and abroad. But this is one of the data points that I think may be pertinent as we look at the stuff going on in Sweden. Notice that they're down right over the water area in, right along the coastline. This, are they looking for something that may be nuclear related, which then would tell me maybe dirty bomb, Club Ks, something along those lines. Could that be why we are just scattering and looking under every rock in the United States? And the Northeast would be really where you would probably have the concentration of it. Notice you don't see any of it going on in Wyoming, Montana. There's a lot of rail out there, a lot of railway, a lot of track, nothing going on out there, but it all seems to be Northeast centric. Well, that's where your populace is. So I don't know. We're going to keep digging. We'll figure this out eventually. Maybe too late, but we'll figure this out. Okay. All right. Let's move on. We took a look at the Sweden surveys, and let's get, let's see where we want to head from here. Let's head over here and take a look at the volcanic activity as of late. Now, note these two right here. This is going to be, if I click on them, they're already gone. They've landed, but they're still showing. That is an R-135, a British R-135. That is a Eurofighter. These two are flying together, and they're out over the Black Sea, and they're on the way back now. But that was a fighter escort. So it looks like the Brits, I figure if they're going to go do it, they're going to get somebody to back them up, right? Because they know the U.S. probably won't. The U.S. will say, oh, man, you got shot down. That's a bummer. All right. So this is your latest ash cloud. Remember, this started out over here, and it is just kind of just danced across Canada, and now it's way up here on this side of it. But notice the amount of volcanic activity all the way down. These in Japan, down here, Dukono, Simaru. These are big volcanoes, by the way, not something. And then this one here in Alaska. All right. I am on a roll today, folks. All right. And then we get it, the regular stuff we see down here in Central America. Yeah, that'd be Africa over here. So a little off geographically here this morning. But let's go look at the jet stream and why this is now it's up in here. And you can see this jet stream is really kind of dancing weird. I don't think I've ever seen it do this, like the way that it's moving. It just seems to be these almost like they're lows pushing through, probably are lows, but you can just see how they just swirl in these round. Same thing here, like completely almost going in a circle for a jet stream. It's kind of strange. Of course, it comes back up here, but you can see it does kind of pull back in. You can see some of the winds kind of drooping down over this area. But again, Ryan Hall, y'all, is the guy you want to watch for weather, not Monkey. So, but yeah, this looks to be where the latest is. Looks like the jet stream is going to carry that on up over Greenland. And yeah, from an ash cloud perspective. Right. I don't see any new TFRs, so we'll just skip on through that. Let's boogie out of this, and then let's get over to Flashbang. This is an interesting one. Today, he is doing really nothing, probably decompressing from his Ireland trip. But watch this. These are some funny things coming here. All right. Biden's parole pipeline frees over 1 million immigrants or migrants into the U.S., exceeding the populations of 6 states. This is over on Breitbart. Really big data point for you. But key takeaway here, 75,000 Afghans. Now, I don't know that number is full on accurate. And the reason I say that is because we knew that number was already higher when this whole thing kicked off. And then on top of that, they've been bringing in 2,000 a month since we bailed out of Afghanistan. So that number's got to be higher. And this one, I didn't even know that was going on, but Ukrainian nationals coming in, 120,000 of them. And then, of course, we've got 880,000 migrants that have come up through the southern border. So, all right, there's that side of it. Now, that is one of his first little ditties today. Here's a poll for you. Only 22% say Joe Biden's America headed in the right direction. It's down 6 points since January. I'm surprised it's that high. It's probably really in the single digits. That number's probably being fluffed up a bit. And then over here to this. This is your comedy for today. U.S. President Joe Biden, yeah, there we go, says he will run for re-election in 2024. Yeah. Okay. Let's go see how he's been doing. Let's jump over to the mashup here.
Our nations can achieve if we do it together. I really mean it. So thank you all. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Have to pay out $159 billion let. Programs like Young Entrepreneur, Young Enterprise Northern Ireland.
Anyway,
From Charlotte, another line going from in Florida down to Tampa.
Of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
The idea that
Los Angeles and what am I doing here?
for two reasons. One,
We haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is, let me say another way.
but the nature, not a solid meeting with
They make a very good point. Here's the deal.
here's what drives the driver in the states that are affected. Here's what you can do, the drivers.
We want to expand pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds, millions of pre-K students.
Yeah. That's called vapor lock. That is what that is. I get it myself sometimes, but, at 55, you kind of expect it. But for him, being the president of the United States, you would think that he'd be a little crisper than that, really making a real mockery of our country. When he goes abroad, it's embarrassing. So, yeah. And that's just what we see. So, anyway, to think that he's going to throw his hat in the ring for another run at 80 years old, I just can't see it. I just don't see it. I don't know how he's going to get any traction. So I'm speechless, just like he is. I don't even have words for it because I don't trust that this thing wouldn't go. Something happened, and Trump in jail, and this guy is our president for another term. Yeah, that's what happens when you have corruption. So anyway, all right, here we go. U.S. is in a panic as they send delegation to Saudi Arabia to discuss energy and security. Well, this piece of it, they are in a panic because Saudi has made an alignment and agreement with China and Russia. They've also leveraged all of their oil output, and it's going to basically send our dollar into the tank. And the security piece is probably us trying to strong arm them and say, hey, look, we're gonna pull out everything we've got in the region, and good luck. Of course, if we do that, Russia will just step right in there like they always do, like they did in Benghazi and Afghanistan and everywhere else that we leave, Syria. So, yeah, our foreign policy is rocking, isn't it? Okay, so that's what's going on there from the headline. Let's get over here to our dollar. You'll notice that there was a big bump right here at the opening bell, so to speak, for the dollar index, U.S. dollar index. We tend to do this, and then during the week, it just continues to bleed down. And by the time we get to Friday, it's back down here at this level. So it looks like they did a little bit of a pump up like they normally do with the stock whenever it is looking a little scary. All right. Now, this you just can't make up. IMF unveils a new global currency known as the Universal Monetary Unit to transform the world economy. Notice on the front of this that, yes, folks, that is a unicorn. And I imagine when the final one comes out, that's going to be the digital currency. It will probably have an image of something that, with a horn, but it's not probably going to be a unicorn. But it'll be a beast nonetheless. But yeah, the Unicoin, a little spin on the phrase there, but there we have it. So they are really getting, I mean, everybody. India's rolled theirs out. We've got the United States going to be doing stuff in July. Everybody is kind of getting prepped for this. And I think that's why we keep seeing the dollar kind of get bumped up on a Monday, or when it starts to free fall, somebody come in and inflate it back up, because I think they're just holding off long enough for this digital thing to get legs, and then they're going to just let the dollar free fall. Now, Glenn Beck was talking in a recent video, and he made a very valid point. He talked about recessions and the fact that we've been through them before, and it's not pleasant, it's not good. And then he talked about depression. We've had a great one, right? But the things that we're seeing right now is uncharted waters. This is a collapse. That's different than any. We've never been through that before. So when the collapse happens, this is going to get ugly globally. So yeah, you didn't really think about it from that standpoint. You know, we sound like we're extremists when we go, oh, we're going to be in a deep depression. But the reality is this is a collapse, and it's something we've never even experienced before. So first time for us, and probably the last one too. All right. Now this will be your can't fix stupid for the day. California power companies proposed a fixed rate bill based on income, not usage. Yes, you read that correctly. In essence, it's the hamburger theory. If you make, X amount of dollars, you're going to pay more for a hamburger than somebody that makes less than that. And same thing. Now with the power grid, everybody is going to be paying based on what you make, your income levels. Ridiculous. I don't even know how that can get traction. And this is why everybody's leaving California in record amounts. Okay, over on the NOTAMs, you're going to notice this one is in Finland. It looks like we've got some activity standing up here. I don't know exactly what it is other than it's hazards. So it doesn't, let me see if it gives me any information. No, it does not really say much. It's got some flashbang gibberish right here. Something to do with, I don't know, something Tika. But not really seeing what is behind this. Maybe it's an operation or an exercise mill op. And we get down south, I'm not seeing too much other than this area. Pay close attention to Israel. There's a lot going on. Iran is standing up shop. They've been in Syria for a while. Watch Damascus, Isaiah 17. And that's where you wake up one day and Damascus is gone. Well, if Iran is about to attack on this side of it, yeah, that could very well happen here in the near future. Gaza's popping off, and so is ancient Samaria, aka the occupied West Bank, is also popping off. So on multiple fronts. So we'll keep tabs on that. Let's get over here to the United States and see if we've got any. We do have some interesting new boxes out here. Let's see what these are tied to. Oceanic, New York Oceanic. That's going to just be for the air traffic stuff, I think. These seem to be, yeah, I don't know. Looks like we got some exercises off the East Coast. Danger boxes going on. Doesn't say that it is space related or anything else, but notice West Coast too. This is kind of odd. All right. Looks like we've got things going on both coasts. So we'll keep an eye on that. But look at this. This is all new here and new here, as well as this up here. And then we don't want to lose sight. Let's see if the one up over Greenland, yeah, it's still there. And of course, this box right here is typically a missile launch box. Yeah, missile or gun firing, and that'll be tied to Russia. Okay, let's get away from this. Let's get over to our cyber attack stuff. It is a Monday. Notice we are still getting peppered. One direction, all inbound, and it is coast to coast. More of the same. I got a little bit of stuff firing here, but looks like the attacks, if you get into the legend, the attacks, the red streaks and the red boxes are all coming from abroad. All right, if you were paying attention over the weekend, Sudan is actually fighting. They've had a coup and several other things going on. They said the death toll is rising. It's at least 97 people have been killed so far. But we'll continue to watch this. Not good, but this is one of many, right? So you got stuff going on, unrest in Sudan. And then we get over here to this piece. We're going to talk about Germany has now approved delivery of a Polish MiG-29 fighters to Ukraine. Just additional, we keep adding more stuff to the soup, so to speak. And then this happened. Russian MiG fighters intercept a Norwegian aircraft for the first time over the Barents Sea. Now, the aircraft that was intercepted was a Navy P-8, and it's the first time that has happened. And we'll continue to watch it, but this just means they are just starting to push that envelope more and more as you get around to that area. And then we get over to this piece, and this one, again, so we had the unrest in Sudan. Now we've got France is actually just up and just off the chain craziness going on now because Macron went ahead and signed his pension reform into law, and Paris basically just went hot as soon as they did that. So pretty wild, but that is happening all over Paris right now. So we'll continue to watch that. And then let's get over here to the bases and see what we've got going on. We're going to kick it off first with the camber flights. Just notice we have quite a few on the board up here, mostly coming in and out of Europe. We've got some things up coming across the drink from, looks to be Southeast Asia, so Japan, etc. And then we've got this down here out of the Middle East, coming out of Bahrain. So let me see if we got how many we've got on there. 6 flights. These coming out of Anchorage are the ones that are more than likely are transporting those 500,000 artillery rounds coming from South Korea. Right. Let's get over here to Topeka, Kansas, see if we got anything on the board catches my eye. We have a SPAR flight coming inbound from Joint Base Andrews. That'll be a dignitary. Couple SPA flight, SPA. That's going to be Sierra Pacific coming in from March Air Force Base, rolling in. Now, I don't know what's on those. That could be anything. Could be troops. Could be migrants. I'm hoping it's troops. Let's see if we got anything else. SPAR leaving from there, headed to Aurora, Colorado. And then this one heads back to Tucson. So that SPA flight, they're based out of Tucson. So that's coming in from March Air Force Base or Air Reserve Base, and then it's going back to home base operations. And then we look at Biggs Army Airfield. We have a national cargo. That's a smaller one coming in from JFK. That is probably, it's a full guess here. Coming in from JFK, don't see that very often. That could actually be tied to some of the immigrants coming in. Remember, they have a very large immigrant camp in Biggs Army Airfield, a large one, holds like 15,000. And so they rotate them in and out on a pretty regular basis. And then this one coming in, that's a SPA flight. Notice it is coming in from Jackson, Mississippi. And then it looks to be headed back home. So that's probably empty, headed to Tucson, more than likely. So could be troops. They could be doing a replen and just doing a rotation as they rehome people from the migrant side of the house. But then look what is on the docket here. Okay, you've got United Airlines coming in from Will Rogers, Sun Country, Delta Airlines, NCR, and another Delta Airlines. These are smaller aircraft. Now, last time we saw that big surge, we had them going to various airports across the United States, and that was around the time we had the heat vest situation going on. So we'll keep a close eye on this. Anytime I see the smaller ones, not the wide bodies, these aren't really made for flying across the drink. They tend to stay domestically. And so you can see this one headed to Denver, going to Fort Hood, Will Rogers, Oklahoma City, and Detroit. Man, this makes me feel like we're pushing migrants out and not troops. We'll keep an eye on it and see if we get that burst again like we had last time. All right. Now, this is going to be Dover, and we have one of the wide bodies coming in. That's JFK. Let's see where it goes. That's Coletta. Not seeing a departure for it yet. So, okay, another reach. That's just going to be your two big ones right there. C-17 probably coming in from Newfoundland, coming in from across the drink. Yeah. All right, we'll keep our eye on that and see. Now, if this thing shows up at Biggs, it won't be migrant related. But that's Coletta Air. And that's wide body, big birds. All right, this one is going to be Ramstein, Atlas Air coming in, Baltimore, Washington. That's a 767-300. That's probably troop related, but it's not a camber flight. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be every time. And then this is going to be one of your Coletta Airs coming in from Amsterdam. Then a big C-17 rolling in. Kind of quiet at Ramstein right now. But then let's get over to RZE. This is going to be, this is Ukraine over here. That's the border between Poland and Ukraine. And camber flight, inbound camber flight, German Air Force, NATO, and camber, another camber. These are big airplanes. These camber flights coming in are very large, 747 400s and 800s. So yeah, these are probably bringing in stuff that goes boom, as well as equipment. And then that one coming in and out of, that's going to be the Brits. Now keep in mind, that's a dual purpose airport. That's a commercial airport tied with military stuff. And if you notice, most of the stuff coming in on the board, landing, it's all military. And leaving, destination unknown, but there's one of your MD-11. So that is going to be Western Global, German Air Force, NATO, Coletta, Atlas Air, Coletta, Atlas Air, and then the Brits. Yeah, very active over there today, at least from that base location. And then National Cargo, these 747-400s landed in Alaska. That was probably just a gas stop. Came in from probably Okinawa, Japan, or let's see. Well, that's Madrid, Spain. It's on the other side. So it just shows it going from Anchorage to Chicago. And then if I get over to this side, coming out of Madrid, Spain, headed eastbound. Destination unknown. All right. Boy, the Navy logistics guys a little busy today. We got 6 of those flights up, and they are all over the place from northeast all the way to southern. So that's over kind of Italy, Malta. Then we back up, and then this one looks to be coming out of Kuwait, I think. Yeah. All right. Look at all the MD-11s. Western Global, very active today. Notice this one's coming out of, looks to be Huntsville, Alabama, headed down to Southwest Florida, Fort Myers. And then these coming out of Frankfurt, Germany, to be headed west. So MD-11s, they're probably flying out here to pick up more boom, and then bringing it back, more than likely. Right. This can be your Omnis. One coming out of Alaska. It's the only one I've got, and it's coming down into Ontario, California. Then let's get to the Brits, and that'll wrap us up for the day. It looks like very active over the southern side down towards Bulgaria and like Constanta, Cyprus. And then we've got one that looks to be coming into the United States out here from Terceira Island. And then this one looks to be rolling out of Canada, headed across the drink back home. So pretty active. Looks like the Brits are more active than we are right now. But again, later this week will probably give us a little more of an indicator whether or not we've plateaued or if this pace that we have seen will continue. When it comes to this survey stuff, we're going to continue to watch Europe. I find it fascinating the fact that they are doing the same thing in some of the areas in Europe, like Sweden, for example, or like Poland, and really Lithuania, Latvia. We've seen a couple there. They didn't show because this was a 3-day, but very, very interesting. And I really still don't know what to make of it, but we're going to continue to watch it. Yeah, it could be anything, folks, really, at this point. I don't want to jump to conclusions. We just know that they are looking at stuff very closely. That's all we know. So it looks like it has plateaued. We'll see if it picks back up today. To me, it's unusual to see them go over the same areas over and over and over and over, unless they're worried that something is going to come out that they didn't see the first couple times, like a Club K. Maybe they're going to catch it at a different, or on the move or something. I don't know. All right, listen, that's going to be it for today. We'll see you guys Wednesday. Again, no live show on Friday. I will be in the middle of my move, trying to get everything resituated for the new studio, and we'll catch you back in on the flip side after that. So that's it. You guys be safe out there. Keep that powder dry and stay frosty. God bless. Monkey out. Check out the latest gear and products at monkeyworksus.com.